This podcast is brought to you by Adapt Athletic Performance and Therapy. Follow their social media accounts on screen now by clicking the link in the description.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
You're listening to the Ball Talk podcast with me, Ryan Bailey, and this is part of a new mini-series called the 12 Pods of Christmas. Over the Christmas period, I'll be bringing you 12 different podcasts with some new and some old faces. Please like, share and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy.
Hi folks, this is episode number
42
of the Ball Talk podcast. Today, for the 12 Pods of Christmas, I'm joined by Raff Cretaro. Raff, you're very welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
50 odd episodes in, we finally got around to it.
Yeah, got there in the end.
So we're here in the showgrounds. You can't see it on camera, I might have a bit of a video in, but it's just starting to rain now. You sit in this stand now, and even coming in the gate today, what comes to mind straight away?
All the good memories, obviously, as a player. We had a great few years here. So, as soon as you kind of come in the gate, that's the first thing that hits you, and then you just kind of look around and you see how well the place looks. Obviously, the history on the walls really is the standout thing. Former players, managers, and people that meant so much to the club, really.
Yeah, they've done a serious job with it, because I have been here. I'll hold my hand up and say it's a few years since I was here, but they have made a serious job of it. As I said to you before we started recording, the first question, to kind of give an icebreaker, if you have a dream concert, so you've got one day, 3 acts on the stage, one after the other, any 3 that you want, they can be dead or alive, who would you have for the day? And as I said to you, mine would be Fleetwood Mac, Chili Peppers and Oasis. So would you be able to pick 3?
Yeah. I think currently, and I've debated this with my wife, and we're definitely going to do it. Obviously, Dermot Kennedy is someone I really want to see live.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely go with him. I think he's phenomenal. I'm going to throw one out there. The wife will know about this one as well. The Spice Girls.
Yeah.
I actually, believe it or not, I fucking love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to love the Spice Girls. So we throw the Spice Girls in, and for good measure then, let me see. Tricky one now, the third one. I suppose Oasis.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Oasis.
Yeah, Oasis. Just, I think everything Noel and Liam Gallagher bring to the table in a concert, that alone is the value for money,
So when you were down here in dressing rooms, were you blaring Spice Girls out the window?
Look, we all had our playlists, but I couldn't play the Spice Girls because I'd never hear the end of it. Mind you, a lot of people would say that my playlists weren't great anyways, but look, they did it for me, and a lot of banter. Yeah, the banter used to be fun. You'd have lads who'd be afraid to put on their playlist because they were afraid of the reaction of the boys.
Yeah. Who was the DJ?
We had a good few over the years. Matthew Blinkhorn was one. Keno was another one. And recent years, then you had Craig Rodden. Craig Rodden was one that used to have some great tunes. And Jesus, who else? We've had some great ones. Greener, to be fair.
Yeah.
Greener had decent tunes. Yeah, Aaron Green, he used to produce some great tunes. He wouldn't keep the same playlist. He'd have it changed every day. Yeah, all the time. Yeah,
took it properly serious.
Yeah. Oh, he actually took that. Yeah, that was his job. Yeah.
And another, I was saying to you there earlier, there's a podcast that I've listened to, and they asked their guests, if you could have 3 people for Christmas dinner, who would you have? But I'm going to put a spin on a few. If you could walk into Foley's or Mickey's on Stephen's Day, and you can have 3 past teammates with you for the day, who would you have?
3 past teammates.
Or present either.
I'd definitely go with Faroud and Kadosevic. Definitely been one. Great relationship with the lad, and had a fantastic spell here. Jamie McKenzie, another lad, and Judgy, yeah. 3 lads who I would have, while they were here, had fantastic relationship with, and still do to this day.
Yeah.
Still in contact with them regularly, and have the banter with them still. Yeah.
Would you have had a good few rips as well, like,
Oh,
when you got the chance?
We were 3 lads that were very similar, you know, in terms of how we played and just our beliefs in football. They had a place up the road up here, just across from St Mary's. There's a block of apartments.
Yeah.
And we used to call it the Palace. Obviously their name, not mine. We'd come in the morning, train, and after training then we'd head back to the Palace, and we'd be just either FIFA, Call of Duty, and I used to get the job of any time I was there of making dinner for the boys. They'd buy the stuff, I made the dinner, so that was kind of the little kind of thing we had together. We'd a great bunch, and we used to. Judgy veered off a little bit near the end. He kind of fell in love with a local Sligo girl, and he did his own thing then, kind of. But no, we still have the banter, the 3 of us, and I still chat to the lads. Great lads.
Yeah, I was only thinking of this coming down the road. Obviously, I saw the crack there. What day are we on today? They were on Thursday, so on Tuesday, the crack in the PSG and Istanbul, which actually here again with Demba and everything, and then the QPR players there, sort of tribute to the whole Black Lives Matter movement. But on a spin side of that, with the fact that you're Italian, did you ever get anything from players on the opposite team or fans or anything?
Yeah, but I
was
would
it
have
more
took it.
slagging,
It was more banter, I think. Football banter, in a sense, is the way I would have took it. I think even now, if there's anything said to me from an opposition fan or anything like that, I just thumbs up, have a bit of banter with them. I'll actually have a conversation with them and just banter about it. Yeah. But no, I don't think there was anything malicious ever said to me, bar the Bulls fans, we paid for your hair. That's about the height of it. And I think the Shells fans, they sing She Was Only 16. So don't know where they got it from or what. So that's about the worst of them now. But other than that, no, banter, like football banter, and you take it with a pinch of salt, and I think it's all part of football, really, you know.
Yeah.
But no, the racism thing, like, look, I don't know really. I don't think we'll ever get to the end of what happened there during the week in the Champions League thing.
Just when you think it's turning the corner.
Yeah, exactly. You know, something like that happens, but no, I don't think there's any space or any room for racism in football. Yeah, personally.
You're saying there you're talking about Bowes, like that must have been a very difficult decision to, because I know you're with Galway as well, like, and it's different going Sligo to Galway than it's going up to Bowes, like completely moving. Like, did you have to move up to Dublin as well? Yeah, I actually moved up there. Blanchardstown we lived in, just past Blanchardstown, Cloney. It was a little place there with a little apartment, myself and 2 Derry lads, right. Garrett McGlynn and Rory Higgins. So we were there, and we had good banter, to be fair, the 3 of us. And we made it actually very easy for each other, you know, because that was their first time, no more than myself, kind of moving away from what they knew. They knew, you know, they were used to Derry, you know, close kind of community more than here at Rovers. Yeah. And it was a big change, 3 of us, but for the 3 of us, I never had such crack in a house with 2 lads, you know. Yeah. The 2 Derry lads are funny lads, and Rory Higgins, the lad who would have always said to me he had a fantastic relationship with Stephen Kenny. Right. You know, he used to always talk about Stephen Kenny, the relationship he had with him. And he says to me, when Stephen Kenny gets a job, he's going to take me with him. Yeah. And we used to banter. We'd have the banter. Yeah. He says, no, I'm telling you, he's going to take me with him. As it went on, obviously Rory played at Dundalk and played at up the north. But Stephen actually brought him to Dundalk as part of the staff. Right, okay. With him. Yeah. And when Stephen now went to the Irish setup, he actually brought Rory in with him. Yes, he did. So he's actually, he was telling the bloody truth. So, he was telling the truth, and we had banter about it, and you had Garrett McGlynn, who we used to call Del Boy, who had a big van,
he's a proper del boy. Like this fella would be selling stuff out the back of the van and everything. And we used to have some banter. Jesus. He'd come in, we'd be finished training anyways, and we'd have our lunch, and we'd be just sitting in having the crack, and
Yeah.
the boys it'd be just bantering away, and Garrett would head off anyways, and he'd come back in. He'd come back in, and he'd have a suit on, full suit, and we're kind of like, "Where are you going?" I have to make a few calls. What do you mean? I have to call to a couple of hotels. So he'd have the suit on him and everything, and I didn't know this now at the time, but he had a little kind of company, a casino that kind of worked in hotels, like casino nights. I don't know, you might have heard of them. Yeah, mobile thing.
Yeah.
So this is what he was doing, going around to the hotels in Dublin, organising this.
This book wasn't playing with Gino.
He played with us.
Oh, he's playing with you as well?
Yeah,
Right, okay.
yeah, he played with us. Like he was really clued in. This guy was really clued in, and a great lad. And again, another lad I still talk to this day, and probably one of the fittest lads, if not the fittest lad I ever played football with.
Right.
He was phenomenal, talented, but had everything, fitness, everything.
Yeah.
We used to banter with him, going in with the full suit on, going to all these hotels.
Yeah.
But he got a couple of gigs out of it. Like he got a couple of gigs, definitely. Yeah. No, he's his own company up in Derry now, and is doing really well for himself. So, look, he like I said, he was really clued in.
Yeah. There's so, like, just from the 6 or 7 lads you mentioned so far, like, they're serious characters that you've come across.
Football, the one thing about football is you'll always come across characters, and that's for sure. You'll come across different cultures, obviously cultures and lads you would come across otherwise, but you don't get the atmosphere of a dressing room, without that.
Yeah.
These lads bring all the French lads bring another different thing as well. It's what makes the dressing room really, But yeah, in terms of characters, I played with plenty of them. A few of them.
And there was definitely a few in that when you won the league in 2012. You had one fella who was like, I don't know what you could call him. It was like a flying visit, Pascal Million coming to Rovers.
Pazzo, yeah. We used to call him Pascal. We used to call him Pazzo. Pazzo, yeah, great lad. I liked him. I had a great relationship with him. Obviously, himself and Joseph, two kind of French-speaking lads, would always be together speaking French and stuff like that. And I'd always kind of butt in the conversation to pretend I could speak French. And the two of them would be just looking at me saying, "The hell is this fella at here?" But no, like you said, Pazzo was a great character. He was quiet enough in the dressing room. He didn't say an awful lot, but he had his own kind of routine, and I think he lived on his own. Actually, I don't know, did he have the opportunity to live with some of the boys, but I think he lived on his own. He was happy enough to do that, and plotted about doing his own thing. But yeah, he'd be definitely one. And I do actually still follow him on Instagram. He has kind of got a little coaching thing set up now in America, and is doing quite well. Yeah,
because I remember his first goal was against UCD. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Absolute dinger from over
there.
Yeah,
and he just takes off and does this massive flip, and the crowd just went mental.
Oh, we were down in the corner. We were stood down in the corner, and everyone went berserk altogether. Because that just, and I know it sounds like a pure bandwagoner thing, but it was the 2 or 3 years that we went to Rovers games. It was the year that you were gone to Bohemians that Rovers won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
The first of the three, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that was the year we started going. I think 2013 was we kind of stopped going to games 2013 because Gaelic games were on Friday nights and you couldn't go to the two. But that year, 2012, you had Pascal Million dinging them in from out of the box. Mark Quigley would try a shot from here in the stand if he could, as well. Another character, I'm sure.
Unbelievable. Probably one of the best players was lucky to play with. Yeah. And I was probably lucky because I played with Mark at Bowes as well.
Yeah.
I played with him at Bowes, and I also played with him obviously here with us. But like you said, he'd score from the halfway line. Like, we'd be in training, and we'd be doing whatever little 5-a-sides, or we'd be doing a full pitch thing with shape, and he'd just drop from a striker, drop into the space kind of as the number 10, and he'd get the ball there around the halfway line or in around the semicircle, and he'd just get it on the half turn, and he'll have the picture in his head already before he gets the ball where the keeper is. Just one touch, the touch is in front of him, bang, over the keeper. Seen him do it so many times.
He tried it one time against Shamrock Rovers. He got them 3-0 here.
Yeah.
And he tried it from, I'd say, just 5 yards the far side of the centre circle, just where the circle itself finishes, and he just tried to dig the keeper. And he came back up the crossbar.
Came off the crossbar. I remember, came off the crossbar.
He had like a Burbtown sort of a vibe to him.
He was very good. He was like, for me, and again, a lad I still talk to again.
Yeah.
And a fantastic lad, great lad. Did so well when we needed him, in 2012.
But Danny knows getting injured.
Yeah, because I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I think he wanted away. I think he was a bit homesick. Probably wasn't playing as regularly as he would have wanted. Obviously, Norty was on flames.
Yeah.
And like we had such a good squad that year. It was rotated,
Yeah.
and that's just the way it was. And we were winning games, so that's football.
Yeah.
You're obviously if you have 2 games in a week, the third game then that you might have, the 11 lads, you might start 6 of them. You might have to rotate it because they put so much in the previous 2 games.
Yeah.
But obviously Mark, I think, like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of it. We went to Europe that year and we were waiting for him at the airport.
Yeah. Going over, was it?
It's going over. We were going to, where are we going? 2012 we were in Slovakia playing Trnava. And Quiggs didn't show up to the airport on the day we were leaving.
Well, not forgot or
I don't know. We don't know. Like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of it. So we were on the plane anyways, and there was a final call, for Mayor Quigley, passenger, whatever, and Joseph Lindo just stands up and goes, "He's not coming." He just stands up and goes like that. And the place just broke out, and we took it banter-wise, and
it just wasn't there.
Just at all. Yeah, it wasn't there, and obviously, I think Norty then Norty, I don't know, got injured then anyways around the European games.
Yeah.
That's when we really needed him, I think the consensus and the talk was, geez, he didn't show up for Europe, kind of get rid of him or whatever, And I think that showed the type of manager Ian Barraclough had, the vision,
Yeah.
the foresight that I'm not going to get rid of him. And now this was before, obviously, Norty got injured.
Yeah.
And he obviously seen that, look, I can still utilise this guy, he's talented. He can change a game like that, because he could, just like that.
Yeah.
He could change a game. And obviously Barra says, I need to keep him around, I need him. And like I said, come the end of the season was probably one of his best managerial decisions to do that, because he went on to get Player of the Year that year and scored some vital goals for us in the running.
Yeah.
None less the penalty here, the day that we won the league.
Against Pats, yeah. Because I remember that day, we had a game that morning, and we were over in Wine Street Car Park, and you could actually hear the roar from the showgrounds that day, because you got 2. You scored 2 and Quigley scored the winner then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's the way it worked out.
Yeah.
The roar was outrageous. We got in for the last 20-25 minutes thing, but the roar was absolutely crazy. It summed up the whole year. Like, there was just such a good buzz in the place for every game and everything.
Yeah, unbelievable. For me, my standout memory as a player, I don't think that anything will top that day, Just the day that was in it, this place was wedged.
Jammers, yeah.
Half an hour, 40 minutes before kick-off, we're doing a warm-up and this place is full.
Yeah.
And lovely day, one of the nicest days, it was in October and it was a beautiful day, 3 o'clock kick-off, and you couldn't have asked for a better kind of way to end the season. And yeah, people say when you're up at the top end of the table you get a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
And probably that day we got that bit of luck that people say when you're at the top of the table. The handball, we were 2-0 up, 2-2, and then we got the handball from Pearsy,
Yeah.
But look, talk about a pressure spot kick, but no better man to take it.
Better man, yeah.
No better man.
I'm just gonna keep recording, but I'm just gonna check the cameras, because I'm going to do a link here now as well. There's no did you see the crack? That's the record, perfect. I know, did you see the crack they're doing in Kilmatyke? They brought out a book, a history book about the parish and stuff like that. Danny Jones wants me to do it. He said, can I plug it at all? So I'm just going to plop that in the middle. Yep. Me talking about it for about a minute. I'll come back to us now. Yeah. But we got 20. We're on 22 minutes now. So for the next 20 minutes or so, because I try to keep them on 40 if I can. Next 20 or so, just keep it flowing. I had fucking the usual crack. I had a list of stuff wrote down. And where to leave the paper?
We'll wing it.
You do. The best things are winged. Like. Yeah. But no, managerial now. Just to go back to pick up where we left off. So you have Ollie Horgan now managing Finn Harps, Paul Cook, Ian Barclough. 3 serious managers.
Unbelievable.
You've been under.
Yeah.
A lot of people, well, maybe not a lot of people. I've heard a few people say that Ian Barclough won the league with Paul Cook's team. That might be an unfair look on Ian Barclough's time at Rovers. But how did you find Barclough in comparison to Cook or even on his own?
For me, Barra was probably one of the best managers I've had by a mile. To see him go, I was fucking gutted. To say that nonetheless, I was gutted to see him go. Again, a manager I still keep in contact with.
Yeah.
He'd be someone that I could pick the phone up as a young coach if I needed to ask something or wanted to know something.
Yeah.
He'd help me, no problem, no bones about it. He'd help me. In that sense, but yeah, Jesus, I've been lucky because I've been under some great managers, and like you said, Cookie and Cookie has went on to do unbelievable things, and probably the manager that got the best out of me in terms of playing.
Okay.
He just made me feel like I was Cristiano Ronaldo. It's the only way to describe it. Like, I was the most confident I ever was playing under him. Like, just the confidence he gave me. I went out into the pitch and I knew if I was getting a chance, there was only one place it was going.
Yeah.
That was how confident he had me going onto the pitch. He just instilled a real belief in all of us, not just me.
Yeah.
In all the players.
Yeah.
Of their ability. I would have always thought, sometimes I would have questioned, am I good enough? Obviously, you would do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you question, but he took that doubt. He took that any little bit of doubt that I had. He took that away. He made me feel like I was good enough. If not, I should be even playing at a higher level.
Yeah.
That's kind of the confidence he gave me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know a lot of the lads would say that played under him would say the same. That's the kind of, but I think that's how he worked. I think that's how his manager, how he used to just build the lads up. He had every player going out into the pitch. He'd have you in a corner, he'd have his arm around you, and he'd be like, "You're my man, you're my main man, you're my man." But in saying that, he'd be saying that to you. But his team talk then at half time might be, "Get the fucking ball to Raff. That fucking kid's on flames. Get the ball to him." And you're just going, you're getting bigger and bigger in the dressing room.
Exactly,
so that's and no, he didn't just do that to me.
Yeah.
He did that to all the lads.
That's
he knew
man management.
Man management,
yeah.
Exactly. He knew the lads that needed a kick up the bum, but he also knew the lads that needed the arm around the shoulder.
Yeah.
And obviously, he seen me as one that needed a little arm around the shoulder, and needed a little belief kind of instilled in me. And then you had the likes of Pearsy, who we knew that if he had a shouting match with him at half time, Pearsy would go out into the pitch with steam coming out of his ears, ready to kick and batter anything that came before him. So he knew that.
Yeah.
And look, that's what good managers. Good managers have them qualities, can see what every, what the players want and what they need.
Yeah, and building a good atmosphere. That builds a good atmosphere too.
100%. Yeah.
Richie Ryan was saying, he was on the podcast. It must be 5 months ago now. He spoke very highly of Paul Cook's man management, and he told me about a day down in Riverstown that she landed back to one of the lads' house for a load of bacon sandwiches.
Yeah.
You will tell this.
Yeah, there's. I think a lot of people know this story. I think it was we had Shamrock Rovers anyways the next day, so I think it was a Thursday morning. Thursday morning we were training in Riverstown. doing the warm up anyways, our usual kind of routine, the bits and pieces, and we're doing the static stretching anyways, and we're having the banter. All the boys having the banter and chatting away. Cookie's having the banter, and he goes, "Hey, Greena, have you any bacon buddies in the apartment?"
Is Aaron Green?
Aaron Green.
Yeah.
And Greener's like, I don't know, Gaffer, I don't know. He says, go down and bleed and see, or go down and see, is there any buddies in the apartment? So Greener gets up, heads off down anyways, down to his apartment. We're still kind of doing our bits and pieces. We're in the middle of maybe a possession or a passing thing. Cookie's phone goes off. It's Greener on the phone, obviously. I've got a load of sausages and bacon and whatever, pudding, whatever you want to go with the bacon buddies. Lovely. Right, lads, signing's off. Get yourself to Greener's. Off we go, the whole, 20 of us. Down we go into Greener's. Greener's got the bacon buddies on. He's got all the sausages, the pudding, the egg, the whole work. He's cooking up a storm in there. And we all arrive in anyways, and he's there in the middle of making the few bits and pieces, and just the crack starts going about this, that and the other, the stories, and just a real chilled, great atmosphere. And I remember just being so relaxed, you know, just I don't know, was it that what he had just done had taken kind of, because we had a bit of a rivalry with Shamrock Rovers at that time. Yeah. You know, there was, and there still is. Look, there's always a bit of rivalry between Shamrock Rovers and Sligo Rovers. Yeah. But it was like he took that. He knew that, and he took the kind of pressure away from the game, and we just relaxed, had the banter. We won the game the next day. Like I said, I think it was either 2-0 or 2-1. My recollection is John Dillon scoring the winner with a header, which is rare, but. Jesus, that's only one of many stories of Cookie, you know, and the way he managed things, and the atmosphere and the togetherness he created, you know.
Yeah, you need that family sort of an atmosphere in your team.
You do, yeah, absolutely, you know. And we were a great bunch. We used to go for coffee. We used to, you know, we'd train here in the morning. Training would be just bang, 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 like the intensity to train and everything was top class, and then we'd leave and we'd either go to Lyons' Cafe or we'd go to O'Hare's. We would have went to all the cafes around Sligo, you know. We'd pick a different place every day to go have coffee or have...
Just a few years, the whole lot?
You wouldn't have everyone, because like, to get everyone you were doing well, but I tell you what, we'd a good 8 or 10 lads, you know, every day. And it wouldn't be the same lads every day. So you might get some of them someday, and you might get... But there was, you know, that togetherness and banter and real, you know, group that we had, that probably I hadn't seen up until then, you know. You know, really, really. And look, we went on to do great things here with that group of players, you know. Obviously, but yeah, like I said, Paul, for me, probably the manager that I have the most kind of admiration for, because of how he made me feel, and probably has a lot to do with the player I became, you know, and went on, you know, to be and I am today, I suppose.
Paul, like, you've got, it's almost a perfect storm. You've got Paul Cook and Joey and Doe coming in at similar times, and they just bring so much, for two men, they bring so much to the table, and as you said, like, that family atmosphere is creating the team, and you're listening to, as you said, Paul Cook as you're like under his wing sort of, and then Joey and Doe, you see him doing stuff in the field, like, geez, I might give that a go, like, you know.
Yeah, like Joey just brought the whole kind of the real professionalism, you know. You know, but look, I haven't played for as long as I have because I wasn't a professional, you know. That wasn't an aspect in my game, but Joe brought a thing probably that I lacked a little bit myself. I know now because I'm a bit more experienced. The other side, the dirty side of the game. So I was a great threat going this way. So, but sometimes being the striker, and all strikers are the same, we forget to come back. So we you know, that was an aspect that Joe really focused me on, and that, okay, I'm good going that way, but when the ball changes hand quickly, I need to get back in and help my team. So that was a different, that was something different that he brought, I think, for me. But he also he knew again what kind of lads, and Jesus, like another person I have a great relationship with, a fantastic, and still do, and if you were saying about 3 players coming back, one of the first questions you asked me, I'd have to throw him in there as well, because that's the respect I have for him, and look, he's not only a fantastic footballer, a great person as well.
Yeah, because I'm sure like leader is a word you'd associate with him big time. Was he like a guy that'd be, in the rest of roaring and shouting, or was he follow me, I lead by example, that sort of?
Yeah. He went about his business. Look, he didn't do the roaring and shouting thing. I don't think it was him. I think it was more. It was more.
He don't come across that.
No, he was calm. Yeah. He was more like, hey, relax. It'll be okay. Don't worry. I'm going to produce something. This is the kind of, the kind of thing, and you knew he was going to do something, and he always did. The big games, Jesus, he produced, but we were lucky to see the players we had. We had so many lads that could just turn something, just like that. When things aren't going your way, bang, someone will do something and produce, and like I said, we were lucky to have them players, around.
Yeah. I was looking up, this is bouncing off to another topic now, but I remember over lockdown, Sligo GA had put up, and the clubs in Sligo had put up match programmes from county finals down to the years and stuff like that. And if I'm not mistaken, in 1999, you scored something like 6 or 8 goals in championship. You were like top scorer in championship. You had fellas like, whoever it may be, was on 110, and another fella on 113, and Raff Cretaro was on 8-2. If you're right in saying that.
That was my first championship playing for Tubber. 99 was the year I joined Rovers, actually.
Right.
The 99-2000 season was when I joined Rovers, and that year I went in playing with Tubber Gaelic, obviously the senior. So I was kind of working the two together, because that the season back then ran from August to March. So it was kind of winter.
Was the off season then for the soccer, yeah.
So it was perfect, and I remember playing the Gaelic and playing as a corner forward, and Tommy Brennan, Tommy Brennan for Tubber.
Yeah.
He was a full forward, but he was probably the most intelligent Gaelic footballer I had ever played with.
Right.
He was so good in terms of his movement. His movement wasn't just for him to get on the ball.
Yeah.
His movement was, okay, I'm coming out, I'm going to take the full back with me, and that's leaving massive space for me to come in. Yeah. But a lot of the time he did get the ball, but he'd just turn left or right, and he knew that I'd be coming in inside, and he'd ping a ball straight to my hands. Now I wouldn't have to move. I'd always be in my stride. He was such a good footballer, and we'd a great kind of relationship football wise that year. And he scored, I don't know how many points he was probably up. He was one of the top scorers, I think, in the county at that year, at that time, because he was one of the top footballers in the county at that time. And I think it was then at the end of the championship campaign that year, did he do his shoulder, I think.
Right.
And it was actually me that chipped the ball into him from the ground. Chipped the ball, and it was a bit high, and he put his hand up like that to grab it, and it's pulled and it's dislocated his shoulder.
Right.
And he had a bit of trouble from then on with his shoulder.
Yeah.
And in the end, he kind of had to, I think he had 3 operations on it.
Wow.
Yeah. So he never got it right after that. And he wasn't right, but he went on. He had a great career. I think he was in his late 20s, early 30s when he did finally stop playing. But I loved the Gaelic. I loved it. I loved playing it. And that
was
year,
that your only year so playing senior?
That was me only that was my first year, and obviously I went in with Rovers then. Tommy Cassidy brought me in here, and that was kind of okay. I'm in with Rovers now. The kind of Gaelic has to take a back seat, but I would have always still kind of played. I was only young. I would have played the 21s. I would have played I think I'm trying to think of the year 2009. Is the year that comes into my head when Tubber reached county final against Eastern Harps.
I think I was at that, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that year I played a full championship campaign with Tubber.
Right.
Obviously with the between me and you
and people watching on the camera.
Cookie kind of, again, man management. I asked him about it and he wasn't keen. And what if you get injured? What if something? And then I went to him again and I asked him again and he knew, right, he says, this obviously means something to me.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to play. And he says, right, he says, look, our games come first. Rovers, obviously, and that was 100%. It wasn't in question anyways. It was always going to be first choice. But I says, well, look, if we have a game on a Saturday, you know, or a Sunday in a championship, can I play? And he's like, look, lad, you can, but you didn't hear it from me, all right? I didn't say you could play. So
brilliant.
That's the kind of, you know, that's how we kind of managed it. And look, I went and I played, and touch wood, I got through it injury free, and we got to a county final. Now, I missed the semi final because I think we played.
Right.
And the final then, I didn't start in the final, but I came on for I think 20 minutes, half an hour.
Yeah.
But Eastern Harps then were a formidable force at that stage, and I think they beat us by 9 points in the end, you know.
Okay.
We were quite a young side, an up and coming side. And that was the last time I actually played. So I enjoyed it.
Would you be able to give another crack, do you reckon?
I don't know. We'll see. Might be something that could that could happen. Definitely something that could happen. Absolutely. You know, I'd still be in contact with a lot of the lads in Tubber. Obviously, David Kern was the manager last year, and I'd be good friends with David.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if he's in there next year. So you wouldn't know. Stranger things can happen, you know. 2021.
What's
on the cards?
Is my guess as good as yours?
2021. Interesting. I don't know. Look, I did as good as retired last year, and obviously Ollie had a good conversation with me, and I went back up, and I'm now delighted that I did go back up because it was such a great year up there, you know, up at Harps, and just the people up there, the people just, you know, they're probably the nicest people I've met in football. They couldn't do enough for you.
Yeah.
You know, they really, really couldn't. And I like Ollie. Ollie, you know, I'd love to see Ollie do well. I'd love to see Hegsy as well do well. I don't think they get the credit they deserve. You know, they're top manager and top coaches. You know, I think the work they put in, you know, and the, you know, obviously the budget they have and everything like that.
Yeah.
You know, but just the people up there, you know, they couldn't do enough for you, and I think it's a club that's going to grow.